Welcome back to From Nine to Mom.
Where we discuss balancing the 9 to 5 hustle with the beautiful chaos that we call motherhood. And today we have a very special episode. It's our first two-part episode that we are doing with Brooke Rollo and Casey Cucker. They are two incredible women that we have met through our business YPC Media. They are in the social media world, but also the insurance world. They have an incredible podcast. And we are going to be partnering with them today and talking all things building bold lives and businesses. And then we're going to transition into some real mom stuff. So let's get it started, guys. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Welcome. So excited for a double header today.
I know.
It's going to be so fun and different.
I know. I love it. Look at all these beautiful women on the screen.
This is a lot of women in one spot. But I think to start, what we need to do is Brooke and Casey, we need you guys to tell us about a little bit about your motherhood journey, how old your kids are, how crazy they are, all the things that you want to share. So Brooke, will you kick us off?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my motherhood journey. Well, first, I didn't think I was going to have one because we did fertility for 4 years. And we tried so hard to have a baby. And then when I finally was like, okay, I'm going to open a business. I think I'll open a scratch insurance agency. And guess what? 6 months later,
What always
fertility.
happens.
And I got pregnant. It was insane. And so then I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am. Like, I don't know what I'm doing in business. And I'm going to be a mom. And so it was really, really wild. And then a couple of years later, we decided, well, let's try for another child. This could take forever. And it's like, my body was like, oh no, we've done that before. We're good. First time. And then I was like, okay, not prepared again. So, but I have two boys, Briggs and Jax. Briggs is 16 and Jax is 12. And they are my world. Like, besides work, my husband and my children, like, I'm on a ball field, I'm sweating to death out somewhere cheering them on. And yeah, that's my
And I saw your oldest is driving. And I know we've briefly talked about this, but for some reason, as a mom, my son's only 6.5. It hit me so hard to think how quickly time flies.
yeah.
And I just felt for you because that's insane.
I mean, I have done so much crying this year because they've gone from, being like smaller, like 11 and 15 to 12 and, 16. And like Briggs is driving and just so independent. Literally last night, I went and woke him up to say hi because he leaves before school. He has practice before I'm up because he's there. He has to be there at 5:45. Isn't that insane? And then I had a birthday thing last night and I got home and he was already in bed and I was like, I have to see your face. And so, but like them to drive off, I was like so much panic and anxiety. And I'm like, there goes my world in one car. Right.
Yeah.
But then like right after that, I told Casey, I was like, I forgot something at Kroger. And I was like, damn, I do not want to go to Kroger. And I was like, oh, I don't have to. Briggs, I need you to go to Kroger.
You're shifting now you're like,
That's
oh,
a new level.
benefits of this situation. There's
Yeah.
going to be a few.
Yeah, that's definitely a benefit, but it's still scary for sure.
Was it a birthday party for you, Brooke, last night?
Was.
Nice.
I
That's so
had
fun.
I had a theme too. I love a theme. It was hats off to my last year in my 40s. So we all wore cowboy hats.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you
we
get a
had fun.
cowboy hat at the last event we were at? Is it like a true Texas cowboy hat?
Yeah. And then my friend opened a mobile hat bar and she has in her house and she has all these hats. Now I have like 4 hats. My husband's like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know. Like, I need one in every color.
Well, happy birthday, Brooke.
Thank
It's really
Yeah.
fun and it's a good idea. I feel like birthdays, I'm obsessed with birthdays. He knows this. So we were just talking about it
Yes.
because I turned 40 next year. So I'm talking about I want to make a bucket list of 40 things I want to accomplish in the year because Katie keeps telling me I just keep adding things that we're going to be doing.
I love
Yes.
it.
And so now I'll cap it at 40. That's fine, right?
Yeah,
Not too
sure,
many.
Sure.
Casey, what about you?
Let's see, where do we start? I feel like I'm in the next phase of motherhood, transitioning into grandmahood. So I have one daughter, and we were, single momming it for a while, and then she had this best friend. The girls were 6 and 7 years old. She had this best friend, and I married the best friend's dad. How we met is through me and my husband met is through our daughters, and of course we got married, and his daughter moved in with us. So it was, the girls they were best friends, and then we get married and moved in together, and they decided to not like each other for like a,
I was gonna
good
ask.
year period.
Of course.
They
It
took
was
the
just
sisters literally in this situation. You know, I was like, that's my sister when you were younger. I didn't have any. So I was like, oh, my sister. They took it very literally. And then they fought like
yeah.
sisters, right?
Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, wait a minute, we're not the only, kid in the household, and we gotta share." And so anyways, that was a whole thing, but we got through it with a lot of counseling. And so, yeah, that's when they were 6 and 7 years old, and, so I had a mix of, being a mom and a stepmom. And now they're 29 and 30, and I have 7 grandkids. So it is how you were just saying a minute ago, Daniel, it just flashes from 6 to 16. From like 16 to 30, it's like, what? How the heck did this happen to where these young girls are now having their own babies and, they're in full, like they're both at, the granddaughters are at cheer camp today, the grandsons are having like a football camp, so they're all cheering and football, and it's like, wow, life is it's just crazy how fast it goes and evolves, but it's so much fun.
Being friends, I have to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're good adult friends, and crazy enough, like all sets of grandkids, like even though they're adult friends, but they live separate lives and don't really run in the same circles, every set of grandkids has been born within 6 weeks apart. So it's like we instantly got 2, then we instantly got 4, and then we got 7 because on the last set, Bill's daughter had twins. So like my
my goodness.
custom personalized Easter baskets is like off the charts.
You need to share a picture of this because I feel like they'd be amazing. Like you have great style. You do a great job coordinating things. I feel like it would be the best. I want an Easter basket from you, I think.
Yeah, like personalizing. But now I'm like, oh my God, I have like 7 things every time that personalize, but I still, I still make it work. But yeah, life is crazy, but it's so good.
So that kind of leads me, let's talk a little bit about you're both in a different phase of motherhood. And Katie and I always wonder, but we were listening to your last episode about chaos, Brooke, and I feel like I resonated so much with that because I am chaotic. My son will tell everyone I'm chaotic. And I feel like we're in the stage of you two are also, you have your insurance agency businesses, you have your social media businesses, you have your podcast. Katie and I are kind of in a similar journey right now together as partners. So it's cool to have 2 other people here. And I feel like there's constantly something that we're like, okay, maybe it'll get easier or this is going on. And I just want your take. Does mom guilt ever go away? Does it get harder? Like, do you have any tips, tricks? What does this look like as we progress, as our kids get older?
You mean you're
Be
not
honest.
you're not giving us the tips on this?
No, we need you.
Gosh. No, it never goes away. I think it just shifts a little bit, but because as my kids have gotten older, now it's like they don't need me as much. When they were small and they needed me a lot when I did things, I was like, oh my gosh, they need me so much. Right. And I'd feel guilty about that. Now they don't need me as much, but I'm like, well, I feel guilty for like wanting to do my own thing now. I'm like, we don't need me as much. I'm gonna go over here and because I've been doing, like Casey knows, I've been on this journey of like self-discovery and what do I like? Because I've been a mom, I've been raising kids in a business. I'm like, well, what am I outside of that? I don't even know. So now that guilt is kind of like, am I guilty for like being a little selfish? And that's something I deal with all the time. I'm like, no, not. This is you can be selfish. It's okay to have like self-love. Like it's fine. So yeah, I'm working through it, but yeah, it didn't go away. Sorry.
You know what, though? I feel like what you said does make sense.
Did she freeze for you guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm going to mark it, but I'll keep asking questions. I think one of the things I wanted, so you guys both know I have 2 boys. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. So I'm like in toddler years right now. And Danielle and I are taking off with the podcast and doing some things. And we ask about mom guilt because we're like, we want to go build this so that we can build it and run and do, but the kids are so little for us still. So I'm curious where you guys were when you were in that building phase of your businesses. How old were the kids? How did you balance some things? Or do you remember like one point where you're like, how am I going to do all this? It's too hard.
I think, yeah, the guilt never goes away. And like Brooke said, it shifts. My daughter was, we were, her and I, when we started building, so there was no balance. I don't think there ever is any balance. It just, you go through different seasons, and to me, it's pretty much all chaotic. But I kind of thrive in that. So instead of like fighting against that, this is chaotic, but this is where you thrive, and this is where you grow and evolve. So instead of being fearful of it, like just receive it all, and just really like relying on yourself that you're going to make it work. You're going to figure it out. Your track record proves that you have, and just really leaning into yourself. And I feel like as you get older, like you'll lean into yourself even more and more. And yeah, it's all, every day is a juggling, but that's okay. Like I think that that's what life. That's how you grow. Because think if it was all perfectly balanced every day, we would just all stay the same. Where this juggling act is, it pushes you to do some hard and comfortable things, and that's where you kind of grow and evolve. But is there a secret answer? I don't think so. I think it's just get up and show up. And some days you got to not show up and, take a breath and then just get right back in there. And
Yeah. I think too with having kids, you want to show them what a powerful woman looks like. That's what I keep trying to tell
100%.
myself. I want them to know what a powerful woman looks like. And that is different for everybody. So I'm not saying that that definition is the same for every single woman, because I think what makes people feel powerful is unique to them. So I have to just think about like, yes, is this a lot? Do I feel guilty that I'm on this trip and the kids have 2 sporting events or whatever it is? I do feel guilty, but at the same time, I know that they're going to look, and when I am not working, Daisy or Colton are in my office, and Daisy will get on the computer, put on the headphones and be like, I'm working like mama. And you're like, they see you show up regardless. And then I think those moments when you are there mean even more to them, because they know that you sacrifice something else to be present with them at the same time. So I keep trying, it doesn't always work, but I keep trying to tell myself that like you're being the embodiment of what you want them to think a woman can look like and what they can act like. So that's what I try to tell myself, at least.
I mean, I think just, you showing up for your kids and you showing an example of what this looks like and what they can become, and seeing you do it, balancing, there's no balance, but like doing it all. And yeah, we feel the guilt because we care so much when we can't be a part of every single thing, but we are one little human. We do a lot in this busy, fast-paced world, but as long as you are showing up for your kids, loving on them, and I'm building this for you, for our future, like that's all you can do.
Yeah. Well, you talked about this, Brooke, already, talking about personal growth and self growth. You're both on that era, Casey. I saw you posting about aligning your chakras and your like crystals and things like that. If you look behind me, you'll see that that's my life. I try. But when in this discovery phase, self growth, I think we're all kind of there. We preach it all the time because of the businesses that we're in and showing up as your authentic self. Do you guys have any good experiences you've had on this self growth journey? Any aha moments or things that you could share to like inspire us or make us laugh? Either one will count.
for me, yeah, by the way, like I highly recommend that if there's like a, place where you can go get like a chakra balancing, that was absolutely amazing. It was just so peaceful and relaxing. And it was all about just kind of like recharging my batteries and getting things back into balance. And I totally felt that. So wherever you are, if you have access to that, go and do it. But yeah, I feel like the moments that have dropped me to my knees are the ones where I've learned the most, and I've, grown and evolved, and they've been hard and messy, but once you get out, it's like, okay, that totally made sense. Like that had to happen the way that it did. So I'm just on my personal development journey, just trying to just trust myself more and trust the process. And as type A, try to not control and, manipulate things to be exactly how I want them to be. Realize that, when you let go a little bit of that and you just really embrace what's happening and the moments, then they just all seem to flow so much better. So that's where I'm at, is I'm trying to just really just release and let go of some things and just let things flow. And I talk about this with Brooke all the time, receiving all of the abundance instead of blocking and, being like, oh my God, like it's like the abundance is flowing for a reason. It wouldn't be coming to you if you weren't able to handle it. So just trying to really embrace that and be like
Yeah, she tells me all the time, like, don't block the flow. Both of us, we have to tell each other that because we've kind of done this to ourselves. Like through the self-discovery journey, like when you are at a place like I can do more, I can be more, I'm not as needed here, right? And I'm really diving into what am I curious about? What do I want to know about? And like with the podcast, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to do this. Everything's in alignment. That's kind of been my therapy too. So, we talk about things that we want to know more about or, interview guests that have amazing stories and all of this. So that's growth for us. And collaborating like that opens doors. So when you're curious and you ask and you want to receive, then all these doors open and you're like, okay, well, what do I do with all this? Right. If you'd have told me 15 years ago, I'd be sitting on this podcast with all the things that, I've built that I'm proud of, I'd have been like, you're crazy. I can't even like talk to like people without having a damn panic attack. Now I staying on stages talking to hundreds of people. Like the growth, it's over time and you just find more of who you are and you get more comfortable with who you are. And you're about to turn 40 now. Like when I was turning 40, I was like, this is the end of my life, the end of my youth. I'm just gonna be and like my 40s have been amazing because it's more like finding out who I am as a person and more confidence than I had when I was hottie in my 20s and 30s, right? And I just don't give a damn. I just think if you don't like it, hey, turn the page, scroll on. But like I know I'm gonna attract my tribe and I'm gonna have a connection. Right.
Yeah.
And so that growth to me, that means everything because then I'm putting more of my time, the free time, the little bit of free time that I have with people that I want to spend that time with, that bring me up, that fill my cup, and I fill theirs. So yeah, it's awesome.
Excited because of what you're saying right now. Katie, I know Katie laughs at me because she's the younger one, and we always make fun of each other for the things that we do, like me having my crystals or doing a moon ritual and whatnot. She's like, I don't know what you're doing.
Katie,
Yes, I'm 33.
oh, baby, yeah,
Yes, we're in the early 30s. Yeah, but it's interesting you bring up that, like, I took from what you just said, like that confidence. And I feel like a lot of that, because I'm still so in it right now, of like the minute I became a mom, I was like, my confidence shifted in myself, in my friends, because when you become a mom, you go through a lot of changes very, very quickly, whether it's your friends, your body, work is different. You have different priorities, but I found a sense of confidence in things of like, I am going to do what fills my cup, right? I'm going to be with my kids when they're babies. I'm going to work the hours I want to work. And, thankfully I was in a situation that all worked out for me. But a big message of that is confidence and being able to do it for yourself. But I'm also looking to the future of like, wow, one day I will be able to do something for myself. I'm just in a constant stage of somebody else needs me right now. And I saw it was probably a TikTok, but it was, I want a minute. Moms really want a minute of no one needs me time. They don't want alone time. Nobody needs me right. And that was like such a different shift because I don't always want to be alone, but I just need to not be needed for a few minutes and I
Or
feel
like
good.
to shift your focus for like a second. Like
Yeah.
you're focused on this thing, you're in the groove, right? You all like this, you're working on a project that you're very excited about. And the next thing you know, even though you have daycare, you hear somebody in the background. Like my daughter had a dentist appointment yesterday. My mom was in charge. I don't know, in the 5 seconds she came in the door, lost her keys. And I'm trying to work and figure that out. So I do think like we get distracted a lot, but like you're saying, you're not gonna be able to change that. And it's just gonna shift us into some new chaos or new drama on what you can do and how you surround yourself too. Like the circle of people you surround yourself with, we all talk about when one rises, we rise together. And the truth is, if you are putting people in your path who are in that community and who want that for you, it does boost, regardless of age, it boosts your confidence no matter what. And Katie, I feel like for me, I pose as I am much more confident now than I was before kids. But I always have like, I don't know if anybody else feels this, been a loud voice in a room. Like that's kind of how I presented myself to like show that I was confident when deep down, maybe I wasn't as confident as I was projecting in that room. And like just working, and that's where we talk about finding great people and building your community. Like, Katie, you're much younger than me, but you've always been calm to my chaos. And like, who
Yes.
cares? Like, just do it. In this podcast, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. Podcasting is therapy. Katie and I started as a work project. We thought we were going to do this for YPC Media. I'm like, we don't want to screw it up for them. So like, what can we talk about that we always talk about? Like working moms, like stress. I don't know. Let's go. So we started the podcast, and I remember the first couple episodes, Katie, you had a friend come and say to us, I don't feel like you guys are being as funny as you are in regular life. Like you're holding back. And Casey and Brooke, you guys talk about it all the time, like being your authentic self and being your true self. And it took us a minute, but through the therapy and the feedback and working together, it's like, all right, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to be. Like, how do I embrace that and hold on to that? And the right people flow into your life. Then really that's like a testament to how we met both of you. And, podcasting seems silly. Everyone's like, are you making money from it? We're like, not really, but it's really fun. We have this awesome community, and it's opened doors for us that we wouldn't have had otherwise. So I think it's like such a cool thing to have. Do you feel like your podcast has done that for you guys too? Like, do you feel the same?
I mean, it is our therapy. So it helps us, that's our value, is that it is our therapy, and we connect with each other, so we don't feel like we're alone, but then also connecting with other women. And so it's as much as for us personally, I feel like as the listeners. And then, like we're getting ready to host our first retreat. And so it's like we
rolled out retreat.
It has opened doors, and it's just an amazing platform for us to share just who we are and to help other women. Just, you be a voice for other women and a leader and a mentor. And that's what I absolutely love about podcasting.
Yeah. And kind of to your point, when you're like, I feel like you aren't as funny as, because like humor at my core, like that's what I try to like, I laugh at myself. Like I try to look at everything when I'm nervous. I'm like, okay, I'll say something funny and break the ice, whatever. And on our podcast, I feel like I am my authentic self, but it just in a different, like a more serious, because we are talking about women's stories and breaking barriers and falling on your face and what got you up, and kept you going. So it's a little bit different side of my personality. So I'm like, this is therapy, because I'm like, when we talk to our guests, or me and Casey talk to each other and learn things, I'm like, oh my gosh, me too. Oh my gosh, I'm not alone. It's great. And then someone will send us a message and be like, thank you, or like repost our snippet, and say, this helped me today. I hope it helps you. I'm like, oh my God, that means everything. So, we've done a lot, but we want to give back. And it's just an amazing way to give back and connect with other women. And I'm so glad we did it. And I'm glad it took forever, because I know Casey's like, I've been thinking about this for like 5 years. I was like, girl, me too. But I'm like, I'm doing this by myself. I don't even know what I'm doing. We still don't know what we're doing. We're just winging it. It's been awesome.
That's the thing. Progress, not perfection. People always joke about that quote, but it's the truth. Like, I think when you said we weren't ready, like we still don't know what we're doing, but that's the point. Like nobody really does. So if we just keep showing up and trying and getting a little bit better, we're getting closer to the goal. I feel like that's something that, and Brooke, you did an activity at She Leads where we all were talking about like things that we felt about ourselves, and they were things that have held us back. Like, I don't deserve to be in this room, or we're not perfect enough. Our setup's not, Katie and I's setups are, it's funny if you looked at what's going on behind us right now. So like, we're not perfect. We don't have it all together, but if we waited for the perfect moment every single time, we would never take action, and then we wouldn't be where we are today. And I'm also very interested in what you said, Brooke, about your personality, showing a different side of your personality, because Katie and I were talking about, I feel like sometimes you moonlight as this one person, then you find this other side of yourself that you knew was there, but you never allowed yourself to show up as that person. And then all of a sudden you start showing up as that person, and you get the results that you wanted, that you thought you deserved, but you weren't getting, because you weren't allowing yourself to be like, yes, I'm funny. Like you're saying, I'm funny and I make a joke. I'm going to make fun of myself before you make fun of me. But like you said, like I still want to add value, and there's so many different aspects of who I am. And you guys really have, like, I know this is airing on our podcast. It's 2 parts. We'll go over to their podcast next, but they do some amazing interviews. I've listened. You have a circle of women with these incredible stories. And sometimes you listen to them and you're like, I don't know how they're standing here today, but they show up as these insanely powerful driven, not broken women. Even though they've gone through some difficult times, they're not broken. They're stronger from what they went through. And it's insane to see. So I do think that you guys, if that's your goal, you definitely bring that to the table in all of your episodes. And thank you for doing it for us too.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and just I said this quote on our last one, I think, Brooke, where your message, your message. So I think that, you know, how I was just saying, like the things that have like dropped me to my knees and like broke me the most have been the catalyst to, you know, my message and my growth. And that is kind of how, ironically, how you get up and, you know, just show up. And but yeah, I really resonated with that. And I've added a lot of that into my branding instead of just doing it more as like, okay, we're creating business assets. It's like, no, we're going to go on a personal journey. You know, what is your mess? I want to hear it. And we're going to hear that. So I'm taking them through a little bit of a healing. And then we're going to spin that into brand story, and your brand assets are going to reflect that. So you're in alignment. So that helps.
Katie, I feel
The
like
last thing,
yep, do it.
yes, the last thing we have to ask, we ask all of our guests, and Danielle already kind of addressed it, but when we started this podcast, it was because we kept having, we call them the shit you can't make up moments of motherhood, where your kids just do something so like feral, crazy. You're like, I can't believe they just did that. Or you have to tell somebody about it and you're like, they're never going to believe me that that actually just happened to me. So we need to hear your guys' shit you can't make up story about your kids, work, whatever it is, a funny story. And if you want, Danielle will share one of hers.
My kid, like if my kids hear this though, they're going to freaking kill me. I'm like, I'm gonna save this for them. Like, hopefully none of their moms, like friends' moms, listen and tell them. So I'll share a recent one about Briggs. I think I told you this, Casey, about him being, you know, he's been grounded. You know why? Do you remember why? Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, a 16-year-old, like once they start driving, like they just want to drive. They're just like, I'm gonna go cruise the hood, right? I'm gonna go do whatever. They like go to Walmart, like they hang out at Sonic. I'm like, 35 years later, nothing changes. Like,
is their seat all the way back? Like,
yeah, of course, you know, pumping and all the things, you know, standing around Sonic like we did as kids. But so I get this call. This is a couple weeks ago. And it's Briggs, and he's like, and he never calls me, like it's a text, right? So he calls and he's like, hey, can you come up to Walmart? And I was like, no, I'm taking your brother to a sleepover. I'm in West Little Rock, like 30 minutes away. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, well, I just need you to come up here because the people at Walmart want to talk to you. And I'm like, why? You know, and he's like, I said, well, put him on the phone. Just put him on the phone. And he's like, hang on one second. Yeah, no, she said, no, someone needs to come here. I was like, hell no, I was like, what did you do? You know, I'm like, well, I'll get your dad. Of course he called me because he thought like, I'm going to be easier, right?
Yep.
You're getting dad. Dad's up down the road. He'll be there in a minute. Bye. So my husband, I'm like, call me immediately after I need to know what happened. And so he calls me and he's like, well, your son just got banned from Walmart for a year. And I'm like, you're in the head. I'm like, from what? I'm like, did he shoplift? Good Lord, what about, you know? And he's like, no, he's building forts in the toilet paper aisle and paper towel aisle. And apparently there's some viral like Fridays on like TikTok. And I didn't know this until I looked it up and I was like, are you kidding me? I'm like,
it must have been a good fort, Brooke.
It must have. And I'm like, you're 16 years old. Like, what? Y'all are 16. What are you doing building forts in Walmart? They're like on TikTok or like 25, 30-year-old men doing that. I mean, like, they're like, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, the lady was like, they come in here all the time and they're like throwing balls and this and that. I'm like, and so he got banned from Walmart for a year. And I'm like, do I think that was excessive? Was I gonna tell my kid that? No.
Your heart like
learning opportunity.
Completely relaxed when you found out like he was making
It was sports.
Yes. Because I was like, what could it be? Oh my Lord, you can't go into a single Walmart in America for a whole year.
From almost for making.
That's what she said. All Walmarts for a year. Don't step on the property.
Did it get good content? Did they film it?
Right.
They're not even viral.
That is hilarious. But they need to do that. I worked retail for a long time and that was a big thing. Like back then without like all the viral aspects. So I'm actually, don't tell him this if you're listening. Don't do that again. Your mom will have a heart attack, but kind of epic. Like, that's a good story.
Oh my gosh. I know. I told my husband, like, side note, I was like, really? I was like, oh my gosh, this lady banning my kid over this. I'm like, really? Like, there's a lot worse things they could be doing. And I was like, did they damage anything? No. I'm like, well, then have them clean it up. Because they're like, someone will have to clean that up. I'm like, they have to clean it up.
That's amazing.
I mean, I like, how am I going to top that story?
Oh, she really
Like, I have nothing. Like, how am I going to compete with a viral TikTok, theme that's going around that son was involved in and is now banned from every Walmart across the country? That's hilarious, though. Yeah, as Danielle said, I hope he got content.
real.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I would say that it's not really a funny story. Is now they are now my daughter. Since they're older, will have funny moments of like things that really happened that I didn't know was happening during high school. And now it's like the funniest thing ever. Cause I'm the type of mom that like I'm on top of everything. Like, who are you with? Let me meet them, all the things. And both the girls were really good girls, but then they get boyfriends, which is a whole other thing, bringing these boyfriends in. And so now the funny moments are the stuff they got away with in high school that I didn't catch. So it's a whole, and
Amazing.
you aren't in it yet, but they are like literally on the floor rolling about some of these stories.
Oh, I'm sure they love it. Yeah, they're like, we got you, mom. You had no
Yeah.
clue.
You're never not a
So on
parent.
top of it,
Get in trouble. Tell me all the things you got over on me.
So I can learn and be better. Katie, I have one
Yeah,
more
right.
question before we
Yes.
move over, because I think it'll relate to business when we transition a little bit more. Type A, B, or C mom for everyone. Do you know what we're talking about? Ladies, I'm going to teach her. So
type A, like personality.
It's
But
very related to like your personality type, but there's a new trend of people that don't identify with a type A or B, so they're a C because they're a mix of both. So are you a type A type mom where you've got the schedules, everyone follows the schedules, there's this. Are you type B where we're flying by the seat of our pants all the time, or are you a mix?
I think that's that, Katie.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to admit that I wasn't. I was total type A.
Good for you. I'm jealous.
As much as I would love to appear like I've got it all together, I just don't. And my kids know, like, we're flying out the door. Like, I know the schedule, but we're 5-10 minutes behind the schedule. And I'm like, get your stuff. Let's go. That's your breakfast. So I guess I'm like a C, because that could be like chaos, right? C for chaos.
Yes.
There you go.
Like,
If I had to guess for both of you, just based on this one conversation, I would have guessed that for both people.
yeah.
Oh, I'm a type A
I know. I'm a type
through
C
and
today.
through.
What are you, Danielle? What'd you say?
A type C. Katie's so type A. And that's funny
Yeah.
that you guys have that relationship. Like, my teacher's gifts are lined up, like little notes, so cute, but my car looks like raccoons lived in there, and I'm 15 minutes late for volunteering. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I tried. I gave my all.
Isn't that wild? It's like yin and yang. Yeah, that's me and Casey.
Yes.
Like, Casey brings the calm, like you do, Katie.
Yes.
That's
The
awesome.
world, the universe lets us find our people, that make us
Yes.
better.
That's true. That is true.
But anything else, you guys, before again, this is our first time doing a two-parter. So after this, we're going to go over to Fearless and Focus. They'll land their episode tomorrow. So we're going to move into some other awesome conversations, just building on these ones, really. And I guess we'll sign off and sign back in. But before we do that, because we're starting with our listeners, is there anything that you guys want to share about your businesses, things like that? We love for people to be able to like talk a little bit about that.
Go ahead, Brooke.
I was like, I was trying to let you. Yeah. No, I mean, if you connected with me on any, you please follow me. Please reach out to me. Brooke Brolo is BROLO. That's my handle pretty much for everything. Cause branding, we're branding ourselves, but we love to help business owners with their branding, with their content, growing online. I'm also an insurance agent. I coach agents and consulting and then if you just like to have a good glass of wine and you're in Arkansas, come by, girl.
Yeah, and I'm over on Instagram at Casey the Biz Lady. So I love business. Also, I have a female agent community called She Leads. So over on Instagram, She Leads Insurance. So yeah, we just like Brooke, like we love helping women and connecting and just really making people feel like they're not alone and we're all in this together and that we totally got this. Even
Love it. So go subscribe so you can see tomorrow's episode. And with that, we'll clock out.
Yes.